Texas.
Yes.
And the story he told me, he struggled, got his visa from a company, and then came to, I think it was Maryland that they came to. And as soon as they got to Maryland, it wasn't too long after he was contracted by an American company. And just as soon as they were having a little struggle, he was paying all the bills, taking care of all of them. And as soon as they started to have a little struggle, it's like she just went gung-ho on him, kicked him out of the house. He's a non-entity. He's not doing anything. He should leave. Let somebody better come in that can take better care of her, the wife, and the children. And he had to sleep in his car for 3 days. Then some Cameroonian, I think same church they were going to.
What tribe is he? Or what
I think he's from, where is Atiku from again? I think it's that area.
Adamawa.
I think somewhere, yeah, somewhere around, if I'm not mistaken, or close to, you know. And his wife is Yoruba. And
two Nigerians, a Nigerian couple. Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. And 3 months after being away from the family, he got a job. And when the wife was going to be kicked out is when the mother-in-law called, cursed him out, and told him he needs to go and pay for the wife and children. So when he called the wife to find out what was going on, she said that he should come and pay the rent. He said, why should I pay the rent? You wanted me to leave so that somebody who has it together, who is in a better position than I am, come in, pay the rent, take care of all of us, the children and her. So he said, if it's a problem, give me my kids. This woman went to no extent. He was trying to file for his citizenship. She tried to block it. The mother reported him to the American. I mean, it was a mess. God's so good. He pulled himself together. He left. He went to Texas, started to build himself back up. And to God be the glory, he's doing fine. While in Texas, he himself is hearing horror stories of their brothers being kicked out of the house. Once the women are somewhat stable, they're on their feet, you know, they're doing a little bit better. If the husband is having a little struggle, they don't want him anymore. They want him out of the house. They have nowhere to go. And because there are no social programs in place to help men, there are social programs to help women, but there is nothing in place to help men, be it Black American men, be it white American, be it our own brothers. Nobody has anything in place that can help these brothers who are being kicked out, you know, and nobody is thinking how to go, where to go, what to do to put some type of program in place that can help these men stand on their feet that are on the streets, sleeping in their cars, at the mercy of whoever will pick them up.
I'm live, don't say it.
Okay. Sorry guys, I can't see every single one of your comments, but I saw this comment about that Solomon dropped. I pinned it. He says, it's not abroad marriage. It's the fact that many Nigerian women and men were groomed in a dysfunctional society. So structure and stability is the lack of freedom for them. That is a comment in marble or on marble, as the case may be. It makes a lot of sense. But you see, I'm a 46-year-old man raised in a dysfunctional society. I cannot. You understand? So I might try to bend a little, but I was raised by my father in this society. Which is why when you raise children till they're about 22, 23, 25, let them go abroad for 10 years. Let them have the values, the ideologies of Nigeria, because Nigeria too has some things that we're good at. and then let them be able to balance it abroad, and then maybe come home or stay abroad. At least they have a balance. Because some of us, I don't think I can survive a marriage abroad. I'm not sure. You understand? Because my whole brain, I'm 46 years old. My whole brain has been tuned in a certain way by society,
Yes.
by religion, by
Yeah.
culture, by ideology. You understand? So it might be a bit difficult for me at this stage, especially, to be able to find focus and be able to live with. I watch abroad movies. When I see the way they fight, I'm wondering, I can't do this. I can't do this. Someone said 22 is too late. No,
There's
22 is okay.
in favor for men here, to be honest. It's very sad. Everything is pro women.
Statement, Binta. Somebody made a statement. I want to bring the gentleman on, but I just want to quickly say this. Somebody made a statement the other day. He said, Daddy Freeze, one day, a black man driving a car hit a dog in the UK, and it was dog. I don't match dog. They go my own for Nigeria before dog.
Not here.
You not go even stop.
Not
you go
here.
You go to go. What happened then? By the time the animal rights people came,
Huh.
you know, one guy was there, white guy. He made a comment. He said, "This guy is so unlucky. If only he had been a white woman, he would have stood a chance." And then, as we're going, that was when I first started going to London in 2007 or 2008, there about 2006, more like. And the guy was with Baba. He's saying the guy talked to get through. See, abroad, he used London, for example. And I stand corrected. I don't live in London, but this is what someone who lives in London then said to me. He said, first, children have the most rights.
Yep.
Followed by white women. Followed by black women, followed by animals,
Pets,
then black men.
pets.
So in the height of who has rights, black men have the least right. This was said in 2006. I may be wrong. I stand corrected. You can correct me. I remember the way that panned out. It was over him. I think the lady was walking the dog, and the dog ran across the street, more like, and the lady sat down like the donkey happy king. You know, it was very, very saddening. So I've got my brother here. Hello, brother. What are your thoughts? Gucci Pa, go ahead.
Can you hear me first off?
Very clearly.
Oh, okay. Daddy Freeze, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a while that I'm trying to come to your life, and I'm so appreciative that I can come today. And so my thoughts, real quick, you know, while you were speaking with Black Mentor, you know, that was a sign that he gave. You know, if you notice very clearly, if you're like kind of attentive, you know, from where he was speaking, like from the angle he was speaking, you will understand that something was wrong even before he called Lady Natoma, or correct me if I'm wrong. So, and at the point that she came down from the stair, like about to come down, I noticed that she was, she were like a bit hesitant, to come down. But at the point, it was when Black Mentor mentioned that if Freeze wanted to talk to you, that was when she summoned the courage. Because I was like paying closely, because
analyzing.
Yes, I was kind of like, of course. Daddy Freeze is, one of my mentors, maybe you didn't know. I was like kind of close, contact of like monitoring and movement. And at a point when she, eventually came, you understand that, she gave a little bit distance, Like she didn't come directly to the camera. It was, the black mentor that was trying to force the camera on her. And, the last thing that I noticed, when Daddy Freeze were trying to get her thought or to know what is happening, she said something. She said, Daddy Freeze were on live. I was like, on that spot, I was like, oh man, something is wrong.
Well, she's behaving like a lady that she says she is.
No,
she handled it.
No, I believe she's smart. To have said that. She's so smart. She believes how the media works, and she doesn't want to bring everything online. Of course.
Why should she have to? I mean, it's a private thing at this point.
Of course. We know, of course, I believe she just wanted to protect something. And maybe she's still trying to protect something. And I believe she might have, have the reason for her not to want to come alive with Daddy Freeze, because she knows, how many people, are online, right? So I believe maybe.
Sir, can I just say something really quick? They've posed as power couples, right?
Right.
And they've been very active on Daddy Freeze forum.
Right.
And I have to respect the fact that she handled it like a lady. She handled it very well. We don't know the intricacies of what's gone on. They didn't just get to that point today, or whatever made her post what she did. Women are very emotional. So when she gets to a point where she wants to discuss it, or they are able to weather that storm or not, I'm sure Daddy Freeze will know, and at the right time, the public will know. But she was being put on the spot.
Definitely.
And she decided as a lady to decline and not go any further. I have to respect her for that.
Which is the right,
public...
Which is the right thing to do, brother.
Right.
Maybe we shouldn't too.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Maybe let's focus on the main issue.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought we were talking about.
Daddy Freeze, can I say?
Yeah, but don't dwell on Lady Nantoma.
Yeah. So I believe, as you say, we shouldn't because right now is still a speculation as far as I'm concerned. And as far as Daddy Freeze is concerned, because I believe Daddy Freeze hasn't gotten the fact yet, from I believe, from what Black Mentor said, earlier on, I believe it's not yet a fact. So I believe we should just respect that and not just dwell on that. For the issue of men going through a lot in abroad, Daddy Freeze, as if you remember our conversation, I was trying to tell you something about my own personal experience. I live here in California. I'm talking to you right now in California. This is California time. We are in 4:39 p.m. So Daddy Freeze, a lot as my sister rightly said, a lot is going on, right in abroad. What people are going through. Some people might just look at it it's just to be, you guys in abroad, you guys, but a lot is going on here pertaining marriages, pertaining relationship. Trust me. And here it's one-sided, as my sister rightly said. It's when anything happens, they would, sometimes they don't want to hear your side. Sometimes they just want to just go to the other side. Trust me. So a lot is going on. A lot is going on over here that sometimes, you just need to be in that place for you to understand.
It's really sad,
Yeah.
I'm just concerned, I have a son, he's a Black man, so I'm concerned for him on every level, because he's we're getting to the point where before we do anything with any woman, we want to be established. She has to sign, to the point where you want to sign to protect your stuff. I've had so many lives where no woman can get what belongs to them because they're protecting it.
Let me read this to you. It says, African women create the toxicity they live in abroad.
Absolutely.
then
I will not deny that.
Then
But not in all cases.
sons grow up, they try to shield them from this same toxicity they created.
Absolutely. That is first.
And you what you just said, yeah, is very deep. And I'm going to explain it in the best way I understand this. Many women destroy men only for them to realize that they have sons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look what I experienced with my ex and how I was demonized. And a lot of people say, Daddy, please, you have your side and she has her side. There's one side that made it to the court papers. My ex wrote in court papers that I used to bring men home to sleep with her. And when she didn't agree, I would strike her physically. These are in court papers. You can go to the courts in Lagos today and have access to these papers. There is nothing in this except the damage of a man. Do you realize, have you ever sat down to think about the fact that your son is going to grow up? If he saw you, or if your daughter saw you, or if somebody else's daughter saw you do that, what if they do it to your own son?
They're shattered. They can't deal with it. They're ready to go in and fight.
They do it to your own son. You did it to a man. Whether this is right or wrong, did you have to go that far? I live with taste buds. I guard her and protect her like she's my egg. Of course, we all humans make mistakes. Every day you pray for your relationship to work. It is not automatic. It is not easy.
Not without its struggles.
It is not without a struggle.
Yeah.
But I don't think if I'm in a relationship with Satan's daughter, if I were currently in a relationship with Satan's daughter, I don't think. What's wrong with network?
Yeah, I'm actually here. Hi, Daddy.
Solomon, how are you?
We can hear you. The network hear us. So like I was saying, if I'm actually in a relationship with Satan's daughter, there are some things I still would expect her to keep sacred. And I still would not bring a man home to sleep with Satan's daughter. That right there is what I would like to describe as the mischief of women. Okay, so Solomon, let's hear from you here.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I'm not going to turn on my video. I'm not really in good shape. But let me just speak, first of all, the whole issue of abroad marriage. Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments saying, someone has not even gone abroad and he's speaking. I have spoken to many women that I can count of about their marital experiences. I know people, right? Young women in the UK, in the US, in Canada, different places. Number one, yes, it is a global issue, but you see, we need to also be very fair. Both men and women contribute to it. That's number one. Men actually travel to the US or to the UK with the mindset they have of marriage that is not basically partnership. It's like a form of like oppression. So you see a man who in Nigeria is saying, I cannot cook for my wife, I cannot cook, I cannot do this. When they go over there, they cannot take that mindset. They're like, yesterday I was speaking to one of my friends who's like in the UK, and she's like, Solomon, do you know how much it costs to actually have a domestic staff in the UK? Like, you literally, like she was saying, some places you pay up to like 2K pounds, like a month. And because of that, what that means is that the both of them, like parents, would be actively involved in the lives of their kids. Or do you get what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, obviously, like the men, they go there with like so much rigid mindset and all of that. And because of a place that there is structure, you know, they can easily get caught and everything. That's number one. Number two, the women, the truth remains, a lot of women might deny and say, oh, it's not true or whatever. I feel like a lot of women actually grow up with so much bitterness that they want to retaliate, you know, to even innocent men. So you see them with a lot of like pent up frustration, bitterness, and when they go abroad, it's more like they want to prove a point to men. And obviously, the way like the Western world has been structured is just a way that, just like you said, the woman actually comes first, and then the child actually comes first, or the children, then the woman, before you talk about like pets and all of that, before the men. This is standard. Anybody who's arguing this is just, I don't know, it's just
So
socially obtuse. I'm sorry.
Solomon, you're saying that she gets liberated and empowered because, you know, they're pro women, and she's able to exercise whatever pent up emotion she's had over the years, right? Growing up.
Exactly. And you know, and this is one of the problems that I have with this whole pro-black women movement. Like, it is absolute bullocks. Sorry, I'm going to say this. Like, it's absolute nonsense, because what they teach these women is how to be so vindictive in their homes. See,
to kick the men out. The ultimate thing is to have them kicked out of the house.
Exactly.
And promote, you do not need a man. You could do better by yourself. You do not need a man. You know, whatever man can do, I can do it, and so on. And the truth is that we do need our men. We do need our men.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, somebody's telling me about the whites actually also do it. Let me tell you, there is a wide margin. You can't compare an immigrant in the US who's trying to get his papers, or who's trying to, you know, get what's it called, a very stable state, to someone who's actually citizen of that country. You can't compare. Even if the person is out of their house, they have family. Do you see what I'm saying? They have family to go to, they have friends, they have
a support system. They have a very strong support system.
Exactly. So you cannot be telling me, but whites also get kicked out. Like that does not, logically, that does not even match up. But just like I was talking about the whole pro women stuff, you see, Daddy Free is like, you see this whole thing about, oh, you know, women just did. See, let me tell you, I was listening to Michelle Obama, and it caused a lot of issues online, and it was even all these pro women people that were dragging her, where she talked about how sometimes in her marriage it was like 70-30, 70 from her, 30 from her husband. She was basically saying that marriage can never be 50-50. Sometimes somebody's giving more.
It's
sometimes
like
you might
seesaw. You know, it goes up and down. 1 minute she's doing better, the next minute he's not. But you have to find that balance to work it out and be deliberately committed. If you are committed to that journey in life together, you will find a way to work it out. But they have us in a tunnel, or these young ladies or these ladies or whatever it is that are so women. It started off with women's liberation. Now it's gone on to something darker. You know, you have a tunnel vision now, where it's all about the women, dumb down the men, make them more insignificant, you know, as insignificant as possible.
Yeah. So let me finish. But this is a realization that a lot of women do not understand, that marriage, I'm not talking about abuse here, please. Abuse is
different.
Is blatant. Yeah, different. But you see that a little misunderstanding in homes, in marriages, any little thing I want out. Marriage is freaking not easy. Like, marriage, one of the most difficult things you will ever do in your life, right? You just need to know whether it is, yes, it is beautiful, but you know, it's beautiful and it's so difficult because you are literally living all of your life with that person, obviously, again, devoid of abuse. But there is this, you know, popularity of the idea that women are sufficient by themselves. And you know what these women do? What they do is, they try to make sure that at any slightest opportunity, they kick the men they have out of their lives. And then what they do is that when they see men who are in their 40s and 50s going for younger women who are in their 20s, early 20s or mid 20s, they start to cry and they say, oh,
tripping.
But you, for the most of your life, till you were 35 and 40, you were all doing all these, you know, women empowerment stuff.
Macho.
Exactly. I'm doing, like, it's a very long conversation. I'm not a fan. I'm not a a huge fan of what's his name, Kevin Samuels, but he used to make a lot of sense in some. Obviously, I don't really like the fact that he was quite condescending. When you listen to him, Daddy Freeze, a woman will call in, like a black woman. Like, I'm sorry to say, but black people have issues, and black women are so hypocritical. I'm not talking about black men right now. Black men, obviously, that one everybody knows. But you see, something about women is that, yes, naturally, or let me not say naturally, from history, historically, like, right, women have been victims of a lot of like form of oppressions. But you see, at the same time, some women use the fact that the society will always assume that they are the victims to actually put men into trouble. Just like you said, Daddy Freeze, let me tell you, it is easy today. If there is news or there is rumor that Daddy Freeze hits his wife, God forbid, I know. And I know that that will not happen, right? But if there is actually news that Daddy...
Amen is the high question.
Amen. They will
Amen.
drag you through the coals, bro.
Definitely.
Amen.
They will
Right?
gather
But
like bees.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if there is news that Daddy Freeze hits wife, trust me, that will be more believable than when it said wife hits Daddy Freeze. Because there is already, I tell women, just because you're a woman does not mean that you will always be the victim. But you see, women know how to play the victim really well. And when they tell their stories, obviously not all of them, they know how to sensationalize it, make it so emotional, they will cry.
On point.
You will be shocked.
On point.
So my message, long and short, to men who want to marry women outside this country or women who are exposed, in my opinion, find a woman that actually has family values. This thing is so simple. The person doesn't see a Christian. You see, family values tie us together. Family values is the reason why, even when it's very difficult, you guys can sit down, trash it out. Family values, even when you guys are divorcing, it will be in peace. Family values.
Solomon,
Even when you are divorcing, right?
Just
It will be in peace.
Just to piggyback on what you said, Solomon, there is a well-known comedian, self-made in the United States. When I say self-made, Bentley, Rolls Royce, whatever made. And I was talking to him the other day and he was sharing because he was going through some very good friend, right? He was going with beautiful girl and he, she would do whatever it was and he would tell her, listen, you don't need to go through all of this and do all of this. I love you just the way that you are. This girl was so traumatized and troubled. It's like every relationship that she's in, she's the instigator, right? Because he backed away from all the drama and everything. He backed away from it. She felt like she's beautiful, she's sexy. If anybody is to leave, this is what I was hearing, it should be her. Now, she used to be in the police force. If he's on here, bro, I ain't calling your name.
Hold on a second, ma'am. Let me say thank you to the two gentlemen so I can bring new guys. Solomon, thank you for your time. Before you go, I'm gonna say something here. My marriage with court papers, my former marriage with court papers, was dissolved over issues of domestic violence from my ex to me. Anything she likes, she can say, she could not prove in court. But proven beyond reasonable doubt. And I'm a street kid. Forget the botao. The reason why men don't fight back is because you touch a woman, she will start to shout. It has happened. I will never stand here and be on my high horse and say,
as a real man, it's not advisable.
Not advisable. But you see,
you cannot hit any lady.
What happened from it made me say, you know what? No. Because it all came back. There's nothing that I said that, she did this, so that's why this happened. They will not listen to you.
Definitely.
And she rolled on that. But you see, all those things to me are forgivable. When she said I was bringing men home to forcefully have intercourse with her, it's in court papers. I can post it if you want. That to deceitful. Another level. What would you gain if you destroy my name to that level. And that is what I want to draw out of that. Solomon said something, even if he gets to divorce, can you divorce? Can you leave the cruelty? Can you leave? And to be very honest, sometimes the partner leaves you no choice. She didn't want me to have access to the kids. She wanted me to look like a devil. And in order for her to do so, she had to create a narrative. Sadly, the narrative did not work. It worked in the fact that I've not seen my kids for 5 years, but that she was not able to label me in that regard because I live with a woman and I know they beat her. I might have my own. That's why I don't think I can marry a white woman. Maybe I could at 20, maybe 30. But now I've formed, I have this whole ideology. Maybe I might not be able to tolerate the liberation that the Western woman comes with. But you see, Solomon said something, yeah. And I'm going to hold on to that. He says family values. Once you have family values, you will consider certain things. But you see now, family values too have been abused. There's some people that I'll look at Binta now. That's family values. I can stretch her to this limit. I saw what Taste Buds went through in her own divorce. And I'm going to say this. A man dragging property with a woman for, when it's not that he owns the property, there's no document that shows that you own this property. If there is, bring it forward. The fact that you are dragging a woman in court over property for 5 years, for 10 years, it shows the weakness of the man, in my opinion. So you see, the problem is not divorce. The problem is how you divorce. Some men believe that they own women to the point where if they are, I'm a reasonable person, and I said it in when we had mediation meetings between lawyers. I said I don't consider myself an unreasonable person. I will never take children from a woman. Never. Me, I've not done my homework that they gave me in GSS2. I want to do homework with Pekin now. You know,
so you never know your strengths.
I know
it's not easy.
I will not take children away from their mother. But I also need you to know that if the mother wants to keep them in her house, she's going to have to pay that rent. I wouldn't pay I will feed my children. I will contribute towards their school fees. But remember that you keeping them comes with a responsibility. If I got the custody of the children, will you pay part of my rent?
Nope.
So
ain't no woman is gonna do that.
And you
absolutely not.
And you are, those were my issues with my ex. I'm like, you work in an oil company, I work on the radio. Then I was a radio presenter. She worked in an oil company. Why should I pay your rent? Why should I contribute towards your rent? I was not going to do that. I'm not a part of that. No. I agree that you should keep the children. But is like Taste Bud's ex contributing to rent. No, nobody needs that kind of money. We don't need it. I believe that a woman should be able to take care of the children. There's some responsibility that comes with it. Because guess what? You can't tie my life down to the point where I am. I'm paying your rent. You are working. What are you doing with your money? I believe that your money is your money. My money is our money while we are married. My money is not our money the moment we are divorced. My money is my money. I also want to marry somebody else. And then my money becomes our money with the new person I want to marry. How can
stay where you are, Daddy Freeze? Don't come here.
Absolutely. It doesn't work like that.
Now, how can I live with a new family when I'm carrying the load of the other family and she's saving her money?
And she got another man coming in.
And she got no, look.
I won't go pay you pass.
You know they pay me because me, what like a lie. I tell everything I've come back to Nigeria, go my village. I'm mad. Take from me, but
that is real.
A woman, if I get to pay her rent, feed the children, and take care of the children. What does she do with her own money? She gets to buy clothes and bags, change her car and travel, and then she will still get a man. And 90% of the time, the man is going to fund her lifestyle. At least
everything too.
Will collect from a man. So I'm here. She's getting the best of both worlds. She's getting the best of the divorce, because I'm not going to stop my ex from moving on or having a relationship or getting married. Why would I dare do such a wicked thing? We've shown that we can't live together. It's not worth. Move on. So I'm going to be moving on, but I'm held back by the financial strings now. You understand? I can't start a family because you don't know what rent is. Rent is good. If I were Dangote, no problem. If I were Dangote, and that is what will take me to see my kids, I'll rent a house for you. But I am not Dangote. I'm saying, I also need money for me. I need money for my business. I need
strapped, financially strapped.
I'm paying rent. I'm paying so much. She's getting to save her money and invest. Now, I learned this thing with raising kids. I would pay all the bills. I say this all the time. My ex should come and show which bill she was paying in the house when we're together. Because the bills was rent, main bill, rent. I was living in a Cool FM house. And I was the only one working in Cool FM last time I checked. Do you understand? So the rent was a subsidy for my work, not our work. It's not like we're working there together. School fees, I paid 100%. 100. My ex has never contributed 1 naira towards school fees, at least the time we were together. Feeding, she would probably contribute to us, but I gave regular feeding money. It might not have been enough, but I gave. My sister never collected feeding money from her husband. Say, why? He's taking care of some of the bills. Why am I working? But I never looked at it like that. I used to supplement, and it might not have been much. All their travel expense, at least their tickets, and plus some spending money, I would always give each time they traveled. Visa, when she was leaving, the last American visa she collected for her and my kids, I remember, and with my bank is there, I can bring receipts if they want. I paid for her visa and the children's visa. Wow. So, what was she doing with her money? Guess what? She was taking the kids to the cinema. It wasn't. Now, let me break this down to you. Daddy pays the rent. Kids don't understand. They believe they have to have a house, so they don't care where the rent is coming from. Daddy pays the school fees. It is mommy that takes them for ice cream that they value. Mommy takes up for ice cream. To them, that is more valuable. Big thank you, Solomon Bucci and Gucci Pa. Thank you very much. I want to bring 1 or 2 more people. You understand? So she's flexing with her money. She's playing to the gallery. She's getting the emotions of the children. Oh, our mommy is so wonderful. Oh, our dad, anything for us.
And it's your money.
Our daddy never did anything for us. It's ice cream. How much is ice cream? How much is a movie? How much is ice cream and how much is a movie?
It's all the emotional stuff.
But for daddy to be able to give you time, he has to sacrifice work.
Absolutely.
So here's my thing here. Here's my thing. I believe in consequence. If I'm going to keep the kids, I wouldn't ask you for rent. Never. I probably wouldn't even ask you for school fees unless you choose a particular school that is above my budget. Then if my budget for school every month is 100,000 naira and you choose a 500,000 naira school, just know that you will bring the remaining 400,000 on top. And
right?
put my children in a bad school. You understand? But what I'm trying to say is the reverse should also be the case. You want the kids, which I agree you should have the kids. I wouldn't want to be separated from my mom. Growing up, I know how influential my mom was and how useful she was in my life. And I wouldn't want to deprive my son of that.
Yeah, but I don't agree with the woman depriving the father of the kids. I would never agree to that.
When the father is mad.
Yeah, in some instances, yes. If he, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I say this all the time. Yeah, all this, you need a father figure. There was a time in my life I did not need a father figure. My dad was toxic. At that point in my life, I did not need a father figure. Now,
those are exceptions, Daddy Freeze. Those are exceptions.
I've met toxic dads.
Many, yes. There will always be the yeah, there are many. If
the husband's sole purpose is to demonize and destroy the mother.
Oh no, well then that's something the
father is trying to steal the child, because there's also this narrative. When the father comes and tries to steal the child and tries to enter the brain of the child, no, you're not gonna see that kid. And I vowed never to.
That's a vindictive man. I mean, that's
the 3 or 4 times I saw my kids since the separation and the divorce. I never for once told them anything bad about their mom. Maybe I said it on social media, maybe I said, but
you're telling your truth. You're telling your truth.
I would never tell my kids anything bad about their mother. Their mother is their mother. They should respect her. I don't need to respect her, but they need to respect their mother. I don't need to love her, but they need to love their mother. That is very, very important. But we now need to draw something here. And that's one of the reasons why I can't live abroad. I will work and pay your rent. And then you will save your own money. And then you will marry a man. Nah. If you tell me this is how much the children need for feeding, and you see, that is one reason why I would drag child custody with a woman. Because I don't want to. I don't need
My cousin did. But he dragged it with his baby mama.
If I drag this child with this woman, then at least I don't get to pay her rent. Because if the children are living with me, primary custody, and they are visiting you, why do I need to pay your rent?
True.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So women too, they are angry. Oh, he left me, or he's moved on so quickly, because this was some of the narrative. He's moved on so quickly. He's moved on to somebody else. Now that he's moved on to somebody else, let me punish him. You are not punishing him. You are punishing your children, especially when the man is not fighting you. I never fought. Where I fought over my name that she tried to tarnish. I fought those battles. I fought my ex over not seeing my children, but I never fought her for her choices. Whatever she wanted to do with her life, I believed as a grown woman she had choices. And I respect them. Said one day where we're at Chocolate Royale, the judge, for me to see my children, the judge had to order her to let me see my children.
What?
Then sometimes she will not come. Then we'll go to court again.
What the hell?
Then there was a day I saw the kids at Chocolate Royale. I was sitting down, and she came and said, "Oh, you now have a new baby." I don't have a new baby. You have a new baby.
So what?
With somebody.
What?
So the children cannot visit your home.
Oh my God in heaven.
How many women did your father have children with? If each of them decided that they are not going to let your father see his children because he had children with other people, where will we be today? Can we please put things in proper perspective? Sometimes these topics get me really upset.
Guess you're upset. My ex had a child outside.
What is
the child knows the sister Shami.
Business with I've moved on. You have also moved on. What is your business?
Exactly. Oh my God in heaven, and their siblings.
Hold on. I went to see my children in the new school she put them in. Oh, the whole argument was I wasn't paying school fees. I was not paying school fees for children I was not seeing. And I'm not going to pay school fees for children I cannot see. I'm going through financial issues that you caused for me. My money was barely enough for me to survive. You are right. I have a new kid on the way. I'm not going to deprive him for children that I cannot see. Let me see the children. So I now have to pay for the ones I cannot see, and the one I can see at home is starving.
God.
So I went through plenty, George. Eventually, George was able to get me to see the children. I went there, and I went there with the mind of saying, because I couldn't keep up. I went there, the kids was standing at the door, tapping her foot on the ground. Gave me 5 minutes to see my children.
I wouldn't be able to deal with that. It's like, I can't.
So I went to see my kids, and guess what? The next day was basket mounts. She told me that the kids have exams, so I can't see them on a Saturday. I went there with my sister and my lawyer. I didn't go alone, thankfully. I went there with 2 lawyers and my sister. And all of them are still alive today. And she told me that she gave me 5 minutes. She was literally standing at the door. At the point, the authorities of the school, one school in Ikeja around that CMD, the day I have their time, I will call them out. They will know that I'm a mad person. But I've not just had their time. I'm calming down.
So, Daddy Freeze, wait a second. She's reading you the riot act, and you stood there and you're listening.
Hold on. Let me tell you the irony of this story here.
Damn.
I went to see kids for 5 minutes, literally. Don't worry. The light in my estate.
It's true talk. That's why the light went out.
Yeah. Don't worry. The light will come back in 30 seconds or 1 minute. I went to see my kids. Yeah. And the authorities were literally waiting, as in the authorities of the mad school were actually waiting.
What the hell are you saying?
Time for me to see my kids. I said, okay, no problem.
What the hell?
Guess what? The next day was basket mounts. He had an event. I don't know whether his son was. She went to pull them out of school and took them to attend the event.
Get the hell out of here. What's happening here? This is like a movie.
I could not spend 1 hour with them in school. But she now went and took the kids out of school and took them to a basket mount event.
God.
So here's my thing. Yeah. The only way I could deal with it was, you know what? I don't have time for this.
I'm saying.
I don't have time for this. And you are creating a toxic world. Your son, there was a time I used to pray for my son. I pray that you marry a woman like your mother, then you respect me. There were many things I blamed my father for until I got married. My mom might have been the best mom in the world, might have been this, that, but I can't. I can't. Not that I don't love my mother as my mother, but I can't marry her.
A personality like that.
She might have a great personality for a mother and for a wife, but I can't. When I started getting to the age of marrying, I realized that, okay, now these are the dynamics of this situation. Until you marry a woman like your mother, you will never respect me. You always feel that I'm the devil. You just walk those steps for 5 years. Then go through a divorce like I went through. Then you will value me. Then it took me another 3 years to start praying against it. That, please, this is not the kind of prayer I should be praying
for your son. Yeah.
That was always fighting me. Don't make that prayer. Don't say that. Because they never would understand you. They will always look at you as, he's the devil, he's the devil, he's the devil. So what am I saying in essence at the end of the day is, women and men in marriages. Maybe I'm a bit upset today because of what I've been through. So many. And some people say that if you move on. I have not seen my kids in 5 years. Even if my kids don't like me, I need you to understand that I'm angry for the fact that I've not seen them in 5 years. You can't take that anger away from me. And you can't tell me that that anger is undeserved. One thing my mother never did to my dad, they had so many misunderstandings. My mother never called me to spoil my father in front of me.
Now that's I respect.
No matter what, that's why I also inherited that. And I told my kids, I said, look, you must love your mother. I don't need to love your mother. I don't even need to respect her. But you must.
And that takes a man. That takes a real man.
Now.
Because there's some men, my ex, Daddy Freeze, did nothing but try to propel, I'm a witch, my mom's a witch, my entire family. And my daughter at 5 years old, he was saying, I have to tell you the truth, they're bad. How do you do that? Why are you damaging a child?
Now.
Over your own feelings.
Now. I want to say this, yeah. I reached out recently to one of my ex's friends. I said, I haven't seen my kids. Are they okay? I would like to make sure they're okay. And you know what my ex told her friend? My ex told her friend that the kids are old enough that they know how to find their father on social media. Oh, really? Kids, you've sat down and entered their head for how many years?
Engineered them to think a particular way about their dad. And now they're going to look for him.
Coca-Cola billboard does not work. Why does Coca-Cola spend several hundreds of millions every year, billions every year in advertisements? So that they can get into your head.
Oh, McDonald's. The first thing a kid sees is the arch. Oh, I want that.
It is when you enter the McDonald's and you taste that it's different.
Right.
They've worked on you already. How can you tell me that kids you took from me from 10?
Indoctrination, programming, and then they're going to go out there and say, oh, I'm going to go look for my dad. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It doesn't work like that.
They're going to always hate me. If you sit down with them and tell me why they hate, they'll say, because I abandoned them. That was the narrative at one point. Guys, they were driving me mad. I had to abandon. I had to
save yourself and your sanity.
Wait. Let me tell you something. On my daughter's birthday, I didn't have money then. Very important, because to raise kids, you need money. Then, my sister was the one that suggested, it's your daughter's birthday today. We're going to court. We had a court and she was going to be there. Let's buy a cake. I was like, I don't have money for cake. It's not like these kids even want to see me or want my cake. I was sharp pushing, said, no, we're going to buy a cake. We're going to buy a cake. So we went to court, and the court stood down the case. They were like, okay, because the children are here, we're going to delay the case. Standing it down means we'll come back later when we dealt with their cases.
Adjourned it for another time.
So, okay. So with that now, me and my sister had to go and hang out somewhere. So my sister said, now that we have time, in fact, she's buying the cake. So I started grumble. Okay, let's go and get the cake. I didn't have money for cake. I was going through a very tough time that period. So we went and bought cake. And we saw the kids told their own side of the story of how I was mean to them and all that. And they're not entirely wrong. I also had my issues. I was raised like Solomon pointed out. Sometimes when you are raised in Nigeria,
a toxic environment,
toxic. And she was raised where neighbors. You understand? They were raised in equal levels of toxicity. Let's leave that. But I take my own fault. Yes, I agree that the kids had the right to be angry with me. I shouted. I did. Yeah, as a parent, you're going through your own stress and your own.
African parent shouts.
You understand? Shout and transfer of aggression. I'm guilty, and I apologize for that. So the kids were angry with me. They said their own. I wasn't angry with them because, in all honesty, it was not their fault. Okay, we finished with the judge. The judge blamed me for the kids were really angry with me, and the judge said, look, these children are justified to be angry with you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We finished. Can I give my daughter the cake that I didn't want to buy because I didn't have money, but my sister forced me to buy because she felt it was a good thing, and I eventually agreed with her? And my ex says no, that my children cannot eat that cake.
What?
I swear to you. Guess who collected the cake? Her lawyer.
I'll be damned. This gets better. Jesus Christ.
My ex.
Insult upon insult upon insult. Man, listen, try.
To poison a cake that I want to give to my daughter on her birthday.
That's a slap in the face.
Female judge. She was quite fair. Listen, I went through 2 judges. I don't remember the name of the first one, but she was fair enough. And the second one was Okunu, Justice Okunu. Even fairer than the first judge that was fair. It is the judge in Port Harcourt that was not fair. That's why we are going to appeal, and from appeal we are going to Supreme Court. And I turn to the glory of God. I have money.
Amen.
I have money to drag a court case to anywhere you want to drag it.
Let's
You want to take it abroad,
go.
I will hire a lawyer and I will pay the dollar. The money is not
Let's
a problem.
go. Let's go.
At a point, but hey, to the glory of God,
Amen.
the tight, I was able to save some money, which is of course not the case, but which is
you have to throw that one in there.
Yeah, I had to say it. So imagine, my sister was livid. I now said, do you now see why I didn't want to get the cake? Imagine I used my money. It's not my sister's money.
Yeah,
I was
vexed.
As in, let her take the cake from me and say, thank you, Daddy.
Right. Be a hypocrite at least in front of the kids.
Collect it from me and say, thank you, Daddy, for remembering me on my birthday. And then taking that cake on their way home, stopping on Third Mainland Bridge and throw it inside the river, or giving it to the poor. I would have had no qualms.
Exactly.
Not even allowed to take cake. I will poison cake and give my child. But she wanted my money. You ain't gonna get me.
She ain't gonna get nothing.
Her lawyer was the one that drove up and collected the cake. I'm sure they collected the cake and threw it away. That thing paid me.
You gonna pay me too. What are you saying?
That thing paid me.
If I paid my sister too, my God.
As in
front of everybody.
In front of everybody in the car.
Man, Daddy Freeze, I don't know, man.
This, by the way, is about 6 years ago.
It ain't too far off. It's still fresh.
Maybe even 7, maybe 5, 6 years ago. We moved away from that narrative. And I haven't seen my kid. I don't hold it against them, but I just want you to understand the level
extreme
that men go through.
And I was about to tell you, you didn't let me finish, Daddy Freeze. You did not let me finish.
Now, I'm just going to say one more thing. I was never dragging children custody with you. I did not believe that I should not have one weekend a month with my children. There was no English or Latin that you wanted to speak that would make me believe that I did not deserve a weekend a month with my kids.
Honestly.
Because I live with another woman now, and I never tried it in front of the judge. The judge asked me, do you leave? I said, yes. Because
you weren't hiding. It's not like you were hiding, playing. Exactly. You're a grown man. You'd moved on.
Come and tell you yes or no in social media. Social media is there.
Yeah.
So she raised the point. She doesn't want her kids in my house because another woman stays there. Okay, can't I take the kids to the cinema?
I was just about to say, go out to eat.
That was
go to the
utter madness. Did her own father not remarry? Were any of the mothers deprived of their children? I don't get that. I don't get that.
I never have. I never have.
And that for what? Oh, then she now used, Daddy Freeze fighting religion, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. I fought religion for how many years now?
I think she would have liked to see you broken.
They painted all sorts of narratives. It has not made me poorer. It has made me so much more famous.
But that sounds like what she wanted. Broke, disgusted, busted, down. Maybe she would have been happier.
So, at the end of the day, I had to sit back one day and say, you know what? I'm cutting this toxicity. If it means me not seeing the kids, I will not see the kids. I cannot deal with mental health issues.
Yeah, it really does something to the psyche. It does. It really does.
Someone says, Daddy Freeze, did you ever cheat on your ex? Let's not even talk about cheating. Cheating.
What does that have to do with what we're saying?
Hold on. Cheating was a two-way road. Let's not go there. Let's not disgrace ourselves.
So
Let's not even
whoever
mention
is asking might be doing the same thing.
cheating. I'm not going to say anything. But wait till
Do
my
you
hands.
notice the people who ask these questions are the one doing it?
Don't mind them. Cheating.
You know, so Daddy Freeze, quickly to piggyback on what Solomon was saying about toxicity and all of that. This lady with this comedian now, because she, you know, she wanted to get back into the police force, they told her, listen, unless you're a victim of abuse, you can't get back in. You know, this woman went to go get people to beat the crap out of her, bloody herself up, and say he did it. Can you imagine the extent that she went? And then she tried to get back with him, and because he refused, she kicked him in the notch. Just to be vindictive, vengeful, and you know, the fact that she was doing whatever she was doing with other people, and he said, okay, well, if this is the way it is, it's an open relationship, and found out that he was with somebody else. Oh my God. Do so, don't like so. The fact that I'm doing it doesn't mean that you should do it, you know? And then she was ready to destroy his career, ready to destroy him, demoralize him. You know, I mean, she went to, oh my God, he almost lost his career on that. But like you say, to God be the glory. He's holding his own. He's doing very well, better than before, you know? But it's sad. And this is a West Indian man that came here and built himself up from being a master electrician to being one of the noted comedians that was on the Breakfast Club. BET is trying to pick him up. I mean, come on, when somebody wants to destroy you and God is really for you, please, you know, throw your best shot. You can stand there today, Daddy Freeze, and say they threw their best shot, but here you stand.
Straight up.
Glory of God. Right?
God, straight up.
Why are you looking like that? Hello, sis. What's up?
Hey.
Hey, how are you? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good evening.
Good evening, my
It's evening. It's evening here in Texas, so good evening.
Same here in Florida, 8:28.
I just wanted to make a point about the marriage in abroad. I'm Nigerian, Igbo, married to an Anambra man. I actually I met my husband through a family member, went to Nigeria, did my wedding, did his papers, brought him over here. My opinion about the issues about marriage abroad, from my perspective, we have this notion of, I'm going to say my generation of women.
Okay.
We have this notion of we want our men to do everything. We have an expectation of what we want our marriage to be. And I almost fell victim to it because I grew up, my dad is a U.S. soldier, still active in the military. And I have a sister, and we were sheltered. So I wanted a man that was like my dad, who provided everything, who was there when I needed, beck and call. I don't want questions asked. I've been married, I'll be 6 years in September married. And it got to a point where I felt like he wasn't doing enough for me. And then you have friends in your ear that are telling you, girl, it can't be me. If he's not doing this for you, he doesn't love you. If he's not doing this for you, you know, he's probably doing it for somebody else.
Your mistake. Listening.
And exactly. But I have a great foundation in my mother, and I have a great foundation in my sister.
Good.
And my sister's husband, who is from Akwa Ibom, they actually was like, girl, get over it. I've never been a lazy woman. I work for the state. But I went through, I'm going to tell a little story. When I got pregnant with my first son, I had a major fibroid. I went through a whole lot of health issues, had him, had fibroid surgery, got pregnant again without knowing. My uterus ruptured. So I was
no.
out of work for 3 years. So now I'm dependent on a man to take care of me instead of the two household of me contributing in America with COVID.
Oh, wow.
And no work. So I just want to say, for us, Nigerian women, I'm not saying all of us are bad. Not every man is good, because I know a lot of men that are horrible. But most cases that I've seen, sisters, please be patient. Please be kind. Because it's not easy being married. It's not easy being in a different country, away from family for some people.
And support system.
And support system. But as men are groomed, especially our men in Nigeria, they are groomed to be strong, to not show emotion, to just swallow everything. I just want us to do better. That's all. Because we can, because there are great women out there. All my friends are Nigerian women, and they are thriving, and they love their men. And there are other men that are out there that go above and beyond for their wives, for their spouses. It's just, let's not just dwell in just stigmatizing everybody. You know what I mean?
That's so true, sister. I mean, like Daddy Freeze was saying, every marriage is, including his own, every marriage has its challenges, hard times, and so on. And how we react and deal with these problems that come up in a marriage determine the outcome of that. And if you have good people that are advising you and not trying to follow the trends and trying to follow what you're seeing out there. Like a friend of mine, Ibis Haven always would say on her show that even if you leave a marriage, how are you sure that you're going to a better one or going to get a better person? Not everybody is fortunate.
Look, misery likes company.
It does.
Okay? For me, there's a lot of it's not that much thing that will happen for me to leave my marriage. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm saying, let's be patient. Don't just leave your marriage because your husband didn't get you the Gucci bag that you asked for.
Ridiculous.
Because I know a lot of people that do that. So let's not do that. I'm a wife of a military soldier. He just came back from deployment today, thank God, safe. And you're not always gonna get what you want, and I had to learn that. And we have to stop. It would be great if you're married to a man who can provide everything for you and you don't have to do anything. But I believe our women now, the women in my generation, are very independent, and they always like to get things their way. They work for themselves, and it's hard sometimes when you're a woman and you work and you've gone through a lot of stuff to build yourself up, and you're married to a man who's lazy, that just wants to take from you. That's just my opinion. Comment section, you guys are savage, okay? Papa.
Oops. So I'm back.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
Gone. What happened to her?
I guess comment section 1.
What happened to Binta? You guys remember?
The comment section 1. They wanted her gone so bad.
Binta is my sister. You guys are not. Okay. Amaria, how are you?
Oh, Daddy Freeze. Fine. Good evening.
Binta, you are our pastors, so let's hear from you guys.
Chief Daddy Freeze.
Oluwapi Taibojili.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, brother.
I've been on the live since the beginning because I'm somewhere working though. I'm fixing solar system somewhere.
Oh wow!
And we've been doing it for like 2 days. Now tomorrow we'll finish the work on a big work. So we just connect, finish, make I sit down small, look for Nancy live. So I joined. Now, this very topic on ground is simple and complex. Different people were brought up differently, and all of us have different levels of tolerance. There are some things that I can tolerate and cope with that another person may not be able to tolerate. Sometimes, some people, what they can tolerate, if they are not careful, they can listen to people who cannot tolerate it and now behave like those people and begin to regret later. For example, we have seen people who divorced because of domestic violence. And then there are some people who divorce because of manufactured, I want to use the word manufactured domestic violence. For example, some people, because they think this person may just be prone to, I think this person may have violence in him, but he's hiding it. We have seen cases like that where, yes, there are cases. I've seen a case where a woman said she wanted to divorce her husband because she's too nice. Do you understand? So sometimes some people do something, maybe because they are expecting that, I'm sure there's a lie somewhere. This is too good to be true. So sometimes some people get divorced for crazy reasons. Then sometimes for Nigerians who migrate to another country like America or somewhere in Europe, where the wife now begin to, in quote, misbehave. If you go and check in some of these cases, before the woman began to misbehave, she was actually bearing something in Nigeria that she was looking for freedom. So when she gets the air to be free, she will no longer take those things she used to take. For example, I know men who believe that if their wife have money, she will oppress them or she will not listen to them. So they deliberately keep those women with the stipends they give them. But when they relocate from Nigeria to a country where everybody now needs to work to survive, for the first time, the woman begins to make her money, and then she will now not begin to take those things she used to take when she was not financially independent. But the truth remains that if a man can understand his wife, it's very important. I'll give you an example. My wife is an American. When we got married, she told me that she's not comfortable seeing ladies calling me for any reason. And I am not a womanizer. But she said, even though you are not a womanizer, I don't like it. Do you know what I did? I gave her my phone. I said, go through the phone. If you see anybody send me any message you don't like, delete the person. Just delete, because I don't have anything to do with them. My wife goes through my phone. I say, I did drop my phone, waka come out, because nothing there inside. But you see, those numbers she deleted, some I deleted by myself. It was to bring peace in my house. If I didn't delete those numbers, I bet you those numbers will cause problem, and I don't have anything to do with them. They don't give me money. I'm not doing business with them. Do you understand? So to make peace in my house, I decided to delete those numbers, and there's peace. Now I've been away from home. I traveled to go and do this work that I'm doing. I've been away from home for like 3 days. I'll be returning back tomorrow. My wife misses me every minute. But you know why? Because I know how to behave and do some things that she doesn't like. I avoid those things. Am I a man? I'm a man. But if it were some other persons, those things, they won't avoid it. You know why? They want to prove that they are a man. So it's different strokes for different folks. If people can understand the people they marry, there will be peace. Because sometimes some women who give their husband heat, is because of what they perceive that the husband could be doing, that he doesn't want to stop. The fact that he doesn't want to stop will now make them begin to get worried that, oh, there must be something deeper. That is why you don't want to stop. A lot of things cause misunderstanding.
Fantastic point. We're running out of time. I want to hear Samaria too. Samaria too, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chris.
One day here.
I can have a laugh with you 2 minutes. I'm sorry. You've all spoken well. But I keep wondering why we can't live in peace. Yes, we are quick to say rest in peace to everyone, to people when they
telling you. I'm telling you.
That's a simple thing. First of all, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are a lot of contributing factors. Like Solomon had said, it's not just Africa, not just in Nigeria, it happens everywhere. The rate of divorce is high in the society, in the world. So don't just put the blame on African men or Nigerian men, because even the whites, the black women, it's everywhere. So women, we have our pain. It's not easy to be with people. It's not easy to be with an individual that you are not mated with. Even those of them that are coming from the same home, they have issues. Talk more of people who didn't know themselves from Adam. But there are things we should put into consideration. Like I've always said, family orientation and value is very important. Not only that, before you decide to settle with somebody, think about it. Ask yourself before you even start falling in love and the rest of them, if this is what you want. Marry your type, for goodness sake. Marry your type. It is very important to marry your type. Do not rush into inputting emotions and feelings, and on the long run, it's already late for you to start making amendments. Marry your type, that's one. And secondly, just know that it's never going to be easy. Because if we all should start leaving people for little mistakes, then I guess we'll all be single. There are people who don't have tolerance level. We women, as for example, we have a lot of things going on with us. We have our emotions, it swings up and down. Times a woman may wake up this morning and decide to just be troublesome.
I'm telling you.
Just want to look for trouble the whole of that day. She'll start picking on you, throwing tantrums like a child. It's normal. And times we even look for we throw these tantrums at the wrong time. We don't communicate the right time. Even if we have something bothering us, we want to communicate with our men or with our partners. We don't bring it up at the right time. We bring it at the wrong time. Times we just let it pile up. It keeps accumulating. That any slighted mistake the man will do, will flame up. You see us bringing up things we've been harboring over 20 years ago. That is our personality. I mean, Daddy Freeze, I have so much to say, but because of what you said about time, I'm going to just let it be here. But whatever it is, we should learn to take in our time.
And find exactly what's going on, because I still have to go and call black mentor and find out what exactly is going on. So
good night, guys. It was nice coming in. Good night.
Good night, my sister. Thank you. This is your first time on the live, or this is your first time joining? First time watching or first time joining?
First time joining.
But you've been
watching.
watching.
First time joining. Of course. I'm a big fan.
She looks so much like Uche Jumbo. At first, I thought it was Uche Jumbo.
Don't say that. My sister says that all the time. Don't say that.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Solomon, for coming. I appreciate you all. Take care. God bless. And see you very soon.
Okay.
Tamaria.